Hello and welcome to another episode of the Underhive Lorekeepers podcast. As always, I am your host, or co-host, I'm actually unsure of what I'm calling myself, Spamuel, aka the Big Dog. And to my right, the man who puts the love in, man I would love to maybe set fire to a craft world or commit a few minor acts of genocide against the Tau. It's Nathan. How are you, buddy?
I didn't know where you were going to take that. I'm good, and you're right. I certainly would actually. I've been playing a 40K video game recently. What is it? Rogue Trader, and
Yeah, nice.
I'm definitely going down the pathway of the Ordo Xenos. Like you play as a Rogue Trader, but anything's just like, let's purge the alien. I'm like, sign me up. That sounds like my kind of game.
Hey,
Yeah.
I saw, because I was at your house the other day. Okay, occasionally I see Nathan in real life. It's weird. And you showed me, and it was like, who's that? It's like, oh, it's the Sister of Battle I just got. She hangs out with me. I'm just picturing her in the background, just giving two really enthusiastic thumbs up. Like, we should kill these Eldar. She's just like smiling. It's like a teen movie. She's smiling. She's got the two thumbs up. She's like, he's so cute, isn't he? Oh, look at him. He's purging. Oh,
That is just amazing.
that is just amazing.
The Sister of Battle actually has a lot of lines about like destroy the heretics, burn the Xenos sort of thing, and I find myself just going, I'm on your side. Like, and obviously you have a party, and the other half, some of the party members are like, oh, but what about the people in this? And I'm just like, nah, this Sister of Battle's got a fair point. Like, if they don't look like us, they don't need to be, you know. So
And that's the soundbite that just got us cancelled. So
okay, so
no.
yeah, so sorry. Yes, I haven't been well. I've been well. I've been enjoying Xenos burning, but I have come out of hospital about just under a week ago now.
Yep.
So
Yep.
and yeah, it's been a bit of an adventure. So for all those who are concerned, I did see the love on the internet. Thank you very much. I'm doing well, and everything is good, and it was nothing major, and onwards and upwards. How about yourself?
Yeah,
How you
shout out to Mike the Spitreon who messaged me. And he's just like, dude, you're a bad friend. You need to stop laughing about the fact Nathan's in hospital. I'm like, I was laughing because it was just funny. I'm not happy he's in hospital, and you know that. But Mike's just like, you're a bad person, and yeah, Mike's usually correct.
I'm going with what he said. It's. I didn't really get the feeling of like, are you okay? It's funny that you're in hospital. I got the feeling of like, that's the universe getting you back for smashing me in Warhammer all the time.
Yeah, yep. And then you played Death Guard instead of Imperial Guard, but we'll talk about that on a different episode. So Nathan,
Yes, Samuel.
I have something special prepared for you. Obviously, yes, you're on the mend, and we've got a bunch of episodes planned, and we've got one written up. But before we jump into this, I'm going to do the necessary thing. Listeners, if you enjoy the show and you're interested in supporting the podcast, please shoot over to patreon.com/the Underhive Lorekeepers podcast. We are 100% funded by the goodwill of our audience, though we do this for the love of our hobby. Each month we have Patreon-exclusive episodes, as well as competitions, polls on episodes, and other bonus content. If you are looking for another way to support us, get onto our social media, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. A like, comment, and subscribe helps us grow, gets our particular brand of lore out into the world. All the links are in the show notes. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review on your preferred podcast platform. Share us, and we do merch. There you go. The corporate shilling is done.
No, there's an added bonus for the patrons.
Oh yeah.
If you want, I can show you some pictures of my surgery. Just ask for it.
Surgery pictures.
Yeah. But also, in addition to our my glorious surgery picks, we are doing our mini of the month competition
Yes.
for anybody who's interested. So might be a touch late this month to grab your mini, but you might be in luck.
Well, if
See how you
someone
go.
wasn't in hospital, we could have recorded the episode on time and given the listeners more time to prepare.
I apologize, listeners. I've upset the equilibrium of the universe. I do apologize. Samuel, go to hell. Now, so basically the comp is grab your mini of the month, paint it up, and tag us in it when you post it. And all we're going to do is we're just going to pick the one we like the most. And it doesn't. One of the things we want to make clear here, it doesn't need to be beautiful. If you've got a vibe, if you've got an idea of what you're trying to convey in your mini, just post it up.
Hell yes.
Just let us have a look. Just tag us in it, and we'll pick the one that speaks to us.
Yep.
Our favorite one, and the winner gets a free box of minis.
Yeah, doesn't matter. We don't even care what the mini is. Whatever that mini is, that's the box you're going to be getting. If it's so, Dr. Toe won our first one with he just did this awesome Orlock rattling, and so I really need to organise to do this. I'm just sending him a box of rattlings. Just there you go. This month is a Chaos Dwarf, and whoever wins that just gets a free box of Chaos Dwarfs. Like. It's super complicated. Get the mini. It's free. Build the mini, convert it if you want, and then paint it. Put it on social media. Tag us. If we like it the most, we just send you free minis. El super complicado, as I believe our Spanish listeners would say.
I thought that was Dutch, but yeah.
Muy complicado. Por favor.
Boy.
Cervezas. I don't know. I actually don't.
I don't know. You're bringing up that. You're making my anti-Xenos blood boil again. I don't know what's happening.
Jesus. Or as our Spanish listeners would say, Jesus. But Nathan, to the topic of the episode. So.
Oh, yes.
Okay. You have two options. I have two episodes prepared. All right?
Yep.
The first is an incredibly serious, well-planned and thought-out episode with numerous points, counterpoints, and reading materials. Or...
Option 2.
You can have the mystery box.
When it was like I'd already set myself with option 2 because it sounds like you've done a lot of work for option 1. So I want to take that away from you.
I have.
So yeah, option 2. Hopefully the mystery box is a 16-second episode. Awesome. Let's do it.
Option 2 is we end the episode now.
Yes.
Thank you very much, listeners. Have a lovely day. No, I'm just kidding. We're actually not ending the episode there. So, mystery boxes, we are going to look into some of the weird and wonderful aspects of some of the lesser-known factions of Warhammer 40k. And this particular episode, a couple of people have sort of mentioned it and asked questions about it. It's something I wanted to look into a little bit more as well. I think we've mentioned it a couple of times on shows. It's the minor Ordos.
Oh, it's the Aircast. Talking exclusively about the Tau Aircast for 90 minutes to 3 hours. Is that it?
That can be another episode. We're actually discussing the minor Ordos of the Inquisition.
Oh,
so
that's fine.
That's
fun.
Everyone knows who the Inquisition is. If you don't, go and read a book. I'm not going into that. I have theories on Malkador. I personally don't believe the Emperor wants the Inquisition at all. I have whole conspiracy theories on that. But go read the Horus Heresy series, and then the Eisenhorn series, then the Ravenna series, then the Bequin trilogy. I believe the second book is out now, and then come back to this podcast, and we'll go from there. But everyone knows the Inquisition. Everyone knows the main three: the Ordos Hereticus, the Ordo Malleus, and the Ordo Xenos. Booyah. And everyone then knows the factions they have. You know, the Witch Hunters, the Demon Hunters, the Death Watch. Death Watch, interesting side note, invented by the Imperial Fists. Really, after the War of the Beast. No, not even boo. Like, once again, it's me being weirdly pro-Imperial Fists. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's confused boo. Boo?
Oob.
Do I do?
Yeah.
Boob.
No, oob. Boo
Oob.
backwards. I'm positive. But the minor Ordos are sort of the groups that sit in between these three factions. The Inquisition is an amazing subject, and there's so much sort of discussion and theory and content and lore coming from them. But this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, so I wanted to focus on some of the fun, like I said, the weird and wonderful aspects of the Inquisition first off.
Yeah,
So,
right.
what we're going to do,
So
I've got
not the big three is what
not
you're
the
saying.
big three. No, no.
Right. Okay.
There's 100 podcasts and videos and that sort of thing about all of them. Go listen to them. Go. They can talk to you about. Honestly, I don't want to do the bigger stuff. Like everyone talks about it. Go listen to someone else.
That's some top tier marketing.
Yeah,
I love it. Just
top tier marketing. Hey, we have merch.
You want to listen to something? Go somewhere else. We're not going to do it.
You want this info? Go to someone else, man. That's not what we do here. And yeah, so we are going to jump into them. That's the mystery box. So
I like it.
Nathan, I'm going to start off with a great one. I'm going to bring us in. It's a big read, though. I'm going to warn you now. It's about the Ordo Aegis. Now, the Ordo Aegis is a minor ordo of the Inquisition. Founded sometime in M40, they oversee the Cadian Gate.
Right.
Job's done, lads. Job's done.
Is that the read?
That's the whole thing.
Oh, I thought you're joking.
No,
it wasn't a big
done.
read. So they're defunct now.
Their order
or
is...
they're all being declared heretics.
Or they've just been like, listen, you're the Iron Warriors of 40k. You've got your job. You oversaw that gate from start to finish. Well done, kids.
Oh my god.
So,
oh my god. They would declare themselves heretics if they were known.
So the Ordo Aegis obviously doesn't have a lot to do anymore. Now, we don't really have a lot of information about the Ordo Aegis. Like, how do I put it? They are they're one of those sort of throw together factions. They may have been mentioned in a small section here or there. I believe the Ordo Aegis were mentioned in the Codex Inquisition many years ago. So
yeah, I think so. And I think like the Aegis, obviously the Aegis meaning comes from, I think it's an old Greek word or something like that. I think it's like...
I think it means
it
gate.
might be a shield. No, I think it means shield or something like that, which makes sense because that's what the Cadian Gate was. It was, because it's gone now. It was an Aegis against the Eye of Terror. So it sort of makes sense. And it does... It actually makes a great deal of sense to have an Inquisition force that would protect something as important as the Cadian Gate. Yeah, and like all jokes aside, yes, obviously they failed, but that allowed the
They
40K.
didn't fail. Abaddon dropped a Blackstone Fortress into Cadia. Remember, the planet broke before the Guard did. At the end of the day, they both broke.
But what I'm saying is like, they probably couldn't have prevented that from happening, but I don't think the other Inquisition or the other Ordo would see it that way. They would see it as a failure to understand the threat that was being brought to Cadia. Do you know what I mean?
I think the Ordo Aegis likely in their job of protecting, so overseeing the Cadian Gate, I think they may have been looking for cult activity, looking for anything like that, anything that could threaten the stability of the Cadian Gate. They're making sure that the prayers are being said correctly under the ecclesiarchs. The ecclesiarchs are ensuring are saying the right thing. They're going through making sure there's no uprising or discontent amongst the dock workers, etc., etc. So I think they would have been I think they would probably fall under the Ordos Hereticus, maybe the Ordo Malleus, being
Malleus
a sub-faction.
Hereticus, yeah, I would say one of those two things. See, the way you're talking about them, I instantly get this idea of them as more almost as administrators and ensuring that all the plates are spinning, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I would see them more as like a force designed to get a better understanding of the technology of the gates, do you know? And so yeah, you could probably even have a little bit of a dabble in the
Like with
auto.
the pylons, you think?
Yeah, like if you've got something that is protecting you from the eye of terror, but you don't know how it works, this is the perfect force to assign to it to make you understand how to do it. It would also be the same force that would deal with heretical stuff. But I would see them as a branch that then would refer, okay, we've got heretical activity on the planet. We refer that to the Ordo Hereticus, or whichever branch is going to take over from there. We have potential demon activity in a subsector of Katie or whatever. Audio Malleus would handle that. So I would see them as kind of like investigators for the gate and looking at, because the whole concept of the gate is that Cadia protects it, but then there's assigned Space Marines, there's assigned Sisters of Battle. There's so many elements that would be there to protect the gate. The Ordo Aegis would be just one of those elements, but I would see them as delving into things that don't look at the day to day. I would see them as looking at things that are really more on the obscure side of what is it we don't know about this gate and how do we get a better understanding.
I
You
actually
know,
feel really
so
bad now. You've made them sound so much cooler than me. Um, and you know what?
calling them Iron Warriors, yeah,
Yeah,
two,
to
yeah,
okay, fair enough. To all fans of the Ordo Aegis, to all members, past, present, and possibly future, depending on what happens to the Cicatrix Maledictum,
yeah.
I apologize. I apologize. Maybe should have done some investigation into stopping Blackstone fortresses. Why don't you
But
just?
see, no, but no. Like I know we want to move on to the next point because we want to keep this tight. But you got me thinking there. That would be on their heads. That would be say, okay, from a
If I'd have
military
hit one of
point of
them on the
view,
head.
yeah, yeah, it's really going to hurt. No, yeah, it is. But that would be on their heads. It would be saying something. This is an anomaly. So, from a militaristic point of view, it seems it's an absolute absurdity to have a Blackstone fortress dropped on this planet, right? So that would fall on the Ordos to understand and combat those type of oddities, those things that are happening behind the veil of the
No,
main
stop,
combats.
stop. How do you
Uh,
combat someone crashing a Blackstone fortress? You know what? You know what? We'll deal with that on a different episode.
well, no, but what? No, let me just finish my point here. But that's if I was leading up an investigation into why the Ordo Aegis failed, I would say that's on your head. You are to look at the situation from the left field. You are not to look at the situation the way that the Marine commanders and the Imperial Guard commanders are looking at it. You're not to look at it as the way the arbiters. I found actually Rogue Trader has a wonderful way that it pronounces that word. It's like arbitites or something like that. It's fantastic. But
Arbites.
yeah, no, it's even worse than that. I'll,
Oh,
I'll
is it?
try to remember the pronunciation. But you're not to look at the situation that happened at the gate from their point of view or a more, senior point of view of them. Your role is to find things that happened, like the crashing of the Blackstone Fortress. That is on you. That is why you're a specialist in this area. That's that's just my opinion. That's what I view with all the Inquisition. You have untold, potentially unlimited resources. Nothing should be beyond the concept of possibility when you're doing something.
I'm actually, because of you keep talking about Rogue Trader, I'm going to download it while we speak. And I've just looked. There's a whole DLC which is literally just a shovel. It's free.
Is it?
It's free. It's a like
I
it's
haven't
a, it's a bladed
downloaded.
shovel. I'm
I didn't download anything because I just wanted to play the base game,
no,
and I haven't touched it since I've gone back to work and so forth.
I'm
But
I'm buying this right now.
um,
I don't care.
it's a
Anyway,
great game.
no, back
Wait for a
to
Steam sale. What are you doing? Okay,
yeah,
next
yeah,
read. Next read.
back to our read. Jump up there.
The
Ordo Aegis so far, not gonna lie, not great.
uh, you know, and one last point about them. Shush, Nathan. But one last point. I can see them. I can see the Ordo Aegis being used for other control points around the galaxy as well. So not just the Cadian Gate. There would be Ordo Aegises that would be in control of potential wormholes, of anything that can breach the veil, I think, or anything that helps defend against the warp. But anyway,
Okay.
the Ordo Astartes, founded in M32, they oversee the chapters of the Adeptus Astartes. The strength of the Ordo is currently estimated at 50 Inquisitors. During the second founding, they forcibly disbanded the Wolf Brothers, owing to that the chapter's aberrant gene seed. The Wolf Brothers were given a choice between honourable death in battle or inquisitorial execution. However, many of their number escaped entirely, with some members of the Adeptus Terra accusing the Primarch Lehman Russ of aiding their flight. So this is supposed to be a short episode. I want to talk about this for like 45 minutes. So the Ordo Astartes, only 50 members. Now, we don't like to use swear words on this show, but I'm going to use one here.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way there is only 50. There would be hundreds of them. Hundreds and hundreds keeping tabs on the Astartes. And that would be one of the most difficult jobs in the galaxy.
So it says it's currently estimated at 50 Inquisitors. That would be, the fellas and ladies and the ladies and fellas holding actual inquisitorial rosettes. They would each have
and that's
their,
what I'm saying. I'm
their
saying there's more than
crews,
that.
and there would be hundreds of people under these inquisitors.
No, I'm saying there's more. Just the Inquisitors alone, I believe there would be hundreds of Inquisitors. And then there would be hundreds of people under them as well.
Really?
To manage everything that's going on with the Astartes, you know what I mean? So you would have Inquisitors. I don't necessarily believe they would almost have like a portfolio of chapters that they have to look after, and the dream job is getting like the Ultramarines and the Imperial Fists and I don't know, think of somebody else who doesn't really stir the pot. The Raven Guard, because they don't do much. The Iron Hands, because people forget about them. Their folder's like 3 pages long, and all of it's like just that guy's missing a head, that guy's missing a head, that guy. They're pretty much missing a head. But that's the dream job. This little portfolio of like the chapters that you just go knock on their door, and they're like, "Here's all of our documentation. Everything's up to scratch." And then you would have like the horrible job of everybody that was in the cursed founding. We're just like, who were they? The Dragon
Warriors.
The Dragon Warriors, where they had bone coming out of them. You would have the Inquisitors that have to deal with the Carcharodons, and that's just like, we lost another entire retinue again. Oh, what from? Look, they say they don't know, but the ship has bite marks in it. So
you can just imagine
you work it out
at the offices of the Ordo Astartes. It's just constantly that song. I don't like Mondays.
Exactly.
that one new guy that's just always really chipper in the mornings. It's like, hey Steve, yeah mate, we've got a new chapter you got to go look into there, mate. Oh yeah, who? It's one of the founding legions. I'm hitting the big leagues. Yes, you are, buddy. You've heard of the Dark Angels, haven't you? Yeah, of course I have it. You want me to look after them? Yes, we do. They're not a secretive bunch. You'll have an absolutely great time. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Lord Inquisitor. Yeah, you enjoy it, mate. And just while you're at it, thank you for enacting that new swear jar around the office. We all really appreciate it. You're welcome, boss. You're welcome. Hey, I also want to talk to everyone. Maybe we start wearing real snappy shoes. That's a great idea, Steve. Bring it up when you get back. As soon as you leave, everyone just looks at each other like, nice.
Guaranteed death. Oh, man,
a Dark Angel just comes out of a hallway, shoots them, and just like nods at them all, takes one of the muffins and leaves.
Yeah, exactly. And all you hear over the Voxcom is like, "We'll see you next Monday." Like, it's just like, we know we're going to get another Inquisitor. Like, come next Monday. They would be the horror case, like the Dark Angels, and what are they? The Black Templars. The Black Templars would be our a righteous pain in the butt for
Well,
any member of the Ordo Astartes.
ironically, so the Ordo
Mm.
Astartes has a couple of named characters. One of
Yeah.
them is Yetzmov, who is an Ordo Astartes Inquisitor who has actually led a century-long and thus far wholly fruitless mission to determine the Black Templars chapter's real numbers.
Yeah.
He has a feeling that they possibly have a few over the limit of 1,000,
Yeah.
and in his mind, he thinks, if I can prove it, I will act to bring the Black Templars to heel. That is likely to be very successful. And
Yeah, absolutely.
then you have another one, Inquisitor Hallex, who is of the Ordo Astartes and is one of those who have accused the Dark Angels chapter and their successors of legion building. Now, at a small point before the Arcs of Omen campaign, Hallex used a device to determine the location of the rock at all times. Now, this fellow was also unaware that the device carried a malevolent artificial intelligence known as the Auric Myriad. This entity was later able to give the rock's location to a little fella by the name of Vashdor, who then used that information to attack the rock.
That's
Hallex, you're an idiot.
gold. Yeah, it's just like the first, like Lion comes in with a list of names, and there's like hundreds of Unforgiven on there, or Forgiven, or whatever they're called now. But
Risen.
at the top of that name, yeah, at the top of that list, in the top 5 spots is Hallex.
It's just Hallex.
Alex. It's like,
Hallex.
is this 5 different people?
Hallex. Cypher. Lemon Russ. Hallex.
Yeah. Like, is these different Halexes? No. We're gonna make him hurt a lot.
He just
and then we're gonna
he turns to the Watcher in the Dark. Who's Hallex? Why are they on the list so much? Oh, but I did some silly shit, boss. All right, gotta get him.
Gotta get him. Kick him square in the junk.
That's actually canon as to how the Watchers in the Dark sound.
I did think that. I thought Mickey Mouse, and I was like, whenever I've looked at Mickey Mouse, I'm like, Watcher in the Dark for
Watcher
sure.
in the
I
Dark.
know all
Boom.
about you, Steamboat Willie. Right. So if we just take my episode, go away. I'm not listening to your time frames. Okay. We'll do another minor episode later because I'm enjoying this.
Yeah,
right.
done.
So if we just take the legions, right, and you look at them, and from what we understand in the small little bit of information that we have, the Ordos Astartes is about trying to understand potentially the corrupted nature of the Space Marines. Basically, it's we don't want another Bad Ab war. We don't want another breakaway. We don't want another, succession. We don't want another heresy on the biggest point. So when you look at the first founding legions, you would think there's a whole lot of good names in there that aren't going to turn and so forth. But we know the key culprits there of the Space Wolves, the Blood Angels, the Dark Angels. They're all like testy areas, and even the Salamanders. As much as the Salamanders do greatness for humanity, we know that they push the boundaries with the Xenos. They really are like completely unrelenting and unrepentant upon how much they brutalize the Xenos races. Now, as an Ordo Astartes Inquisitor, would you not look at that and think, you're starting to play a dangerous game in this sector? But how do you approach that particular chapter and say, I need you to wind back on the killing of all the elder civilians in this area? Like we are going to bring upon us a force that we can't fight against.
Yeah, but also they're kind of our allies right now because we're all fighting against them. Let's focus your attentions. An interesting thing.
Sorry, can I just cut you off there? I like the fact that you've taken it to those elder are our allies, and in my mind, it's the Salamanders just destroying elder civilians while the elder are still fighting with them, just like in the background, just wiping out craft world ships and stuff, and just going, no, Xenos, naughty Xenos, kill Xenos,
Yep. It's just
great.
I'm just now
Sorry.
picturing this salamander like kicking down Eldar houses and pretending to be Trogdor, the Burninator from the very early years of the internet. If you don't understand that reference, I need you to stop. Google Trogdor, the Burninator, and then add at least 15 years to your age because you are too young to be my friend. So, but also the Ordos Astartes came into account in this 32nd millennium. That's cool.
Yeah.
The majority of the modern iteration of the Inquisition has really only been around since about the 32nd millennium. Obviously, it happened towards the end of the Horus Heresy with Malcador sort of wrapping up with the group of individuals he'd selected, and Garrow, and I think it was Iaxton Curves and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they got together and did, the Knights Errant and all that sort of nonsense. But obviously, the Inquisition then had a large amount of time to evolve into sort of its current invincible status. Now, that didn't really occur until the sort of what am I looking for? Like the foundations of the imperial cult, and that the emperor had then become this infallible, godlike figure, and then that was preached across. The Inquisition was then really in there to stop heresy and stop the breakaway from the Imperium, yada, yada, yada. But the Ordo Astartes, I'm shocked that they are still seen as a minor ordo, especially with only 50 members, especially given that it was, less than 1,000 years after the Horus Heresy that a group was created to keep the Astartes in line. I would think that would be one of the first groups to be created, because you've just seen what the horrors of, Astartes legions can do. And obviously we had the breakdown of the military. The Imperial forces became not just Imperial Army and Navy, but they became the Imperial Guard and the Imperial Navy. The legions,
you have the separations
chapters.
of the forces.
Correct, yeah. And it stopped everyone from being able to create that, have that power from then on. And I get it. A lot of the Marines were distracted by the scouring, getting in there and basically doing their thing, especially the Iron Cage, when the Iron Warriors kicked 3 shades of vomit out of some Imperial fists.
Did they do that on Terra? No, they didn't, though.
No, they brought down the walls and left. But the Ordo Astartes, in my mind, it has to be bigger than those 50 Inquisitors and then their retinues.
100%.
I'm not seeing it as a smaller one, because there's 1,000 chapters. You're telling me that each of those Inquisitors has 20 chapters to deal with. Plus,
no way.
There was 1,000 chapters before the return of Guilliman, before the unleashing of the Primaris curse upon us all. Like,
whoa.
Nah, man.
Okay.
We're
going to do this.
Gabriel said,
we're going to do this
Dante,
one day.
They are not reinforcements; they are our replacements. I foresee a civil war, but. No, but before all of that, Guilliman's come in and he's just gone, all those chapters that have been wiped out and replaced, bring them back. Like, you cannot tell me that each Inquisitor has 20 chapters. Okay, it's fine if they're all staying
20.
in one place.
At least 20. Yeah.
But that's saying there's only 1,000. There's got to be more. So I think they would be remiss in only allowing it to be a smaller ordo. I think this ordo was most likely a lot bigger than people realize, and they don't let it be told that they're actually larger because they don't want the Astartes to know.
Well, I that was one of the things I was thinking as well. Is one, you don't want the Astartes to know, but two, you don't want everybody to know that maybe they're as big as one of the other ordos, right? But you look at what those other 3 ordos are handling: the alien, the heretic, the demon. Is that? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They're understandable 3 big threats.
Yep.
Now, if we say the Ordo Astartes is as big as one of those other 3, then you're putting the scale of threat of the Space Marines on the scale of threat as one of those big 3 things.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And imagine how terrifying that would be for Imperial citizens to look at they're angels of death and go, they need to be monitored by an inquisitorial force just so that they don't do what? Because a lot of people probably wouldn't even understand or know of what the Horus Heresy was. So
Perfect.
this auto force would just be sitting there going, we will operate in the background. One, because the Space Marines don't want us to be here because we besmirch their honor. We remind them of their failure from the Horus Heresy every time we question them. So we
Yep.
can't, and this is why when you were saying, oh yeah, there would be 50, but there would be hundreds more of retainers and retinue inquisitors that would be. I don't think they would have the authority or power to walk into, a chapter fortress and say, I want to see your current up to date manifests of, or your current scouts. They'd just be like, go away.
Yes.
You have literally no power here. Whereas when an inquisitor rocks up with the rosette and says, "Hoi, we're having a chat now because you've been
Mm.
doing some silly stuff. We need to talk more." The Space Marines are still more inclined to tell that person to boot off, but at the same time, they understand that if the Inquisitor is looking at them with that kind of scrutiny, perhaps they need to bring a better face of what they are to the fore because they don't want to be seen as a red corsair. They don't want to be seen as an executioner. They don't want to be seen as these traitor chapters. They need to be seen as loyal servants, and they unfortunately need to prove themselves again, which reiterates my point about that being quite galling. But two other things I want to say, and one is that I believe that the Ordo Astartes bring to the Space Marine chapters what a lot of Space Marines lack, and that is their understanding that the Space Marines are there to protect and defend and forward humanity. You know what I mean? So one of the things that we see within the heresy is that the Marines, and we see it in 40K as well, Marines do think of themselves as separate to humanity. Like we're almost a different species. Like, yes, we're
Well,
here for you, but we're no longer I'm no longer a human like you. You know what I mean? I'm on a different level.
the Astartes are one of the few groups in the Imperium that do not have the Imperial cult forced on them. A lot of
Yeah,
them
yeah, there
don't
you go.
worship the Emperor as a god.
Yep,
They
there you
see
go.
him
Yeah.
as a man who has been
Mm,
elevated to a divine status. But at the end of the
mm,
day, they follow that. They follow one of those basic tenets of the imperial cult: worship how you want. But you need to remember one of the base tenets of almost all imperial religion: the emperor was a man, but is now a
mm,
god. To the
mm.
Astartes, he was a man and is simply now more.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like
So
you've
this
already made them more free than everyone else in the Imperium.
and that
Yeah.
separation, that mindset, the ethos and belief separation separates them further. So from a physical aspect, they are so far away from the standard imperial citizen. And now we're talking from a mental and almost
Yeah.
sort of theological aspect. They are again worlds apart from the human. So the Ordo Astartes to me would be the bridge there to say, remember, you were human. You fight for humanity. Everything you do is for the betterment of humanity, not for your campaigns, not for your honor rolls, not for your victories. This is for the betterment of humanity, and you need a human, an inquisitor there to be constantly, not necessarily constantly, but being the voice of humanity to the Astartes. The other point, and you touched on it, was the Primaris. With the influx of so many Marines and the rumors that, you know, Belisarius Call used gene seed from wherever he could get it. He's like, oh, look at this gene seed. It's already got some butcher's nails in it. I'll use that to make some Primaris, or look at this one. It's burning. Already got a burning book attached to it. I'll use that to make some Primaris. Um, all of those elements I don't believe, would go under the radar necessarily for any members of the Inquisition, and would be enough for them to go, let's activate our Ordo Astartes and go have a look, go inquire as to what is going on. So I think that yes, this is probably bigger than a minor Ordo of the Inquisition. And I think it probably, from a GW point of view, it probably doesn't get touched on enough because you don't want to mess with the direct and, I guess, uncompromising nature of Space Marines. It's like they see a problem, they pick up a bolt gun and sort it out.
Mm.
So having the Ordo Astartes in there, sort of, I guess, muddying the decision-making process, can like deviate from the poster boys of the company.
Damn. All right. So that got a little bit heavy.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
this is one of my favorite things that you've put in there. It's like this is cool. I really like the Ordo Astartes. It's inspiring me for an army idea, to be honest.
Well, this one might even do it more than the Ordo Astartes did. This is the Ordo Astra. Founded in M34, they oversee and study stellar cartography. The current strength of the Ordo is estimated at over 50 Inquisitors. So they're the inquisitorial Ordo of maps, and they have more manpower than the guys and gals dealing with the Astartes. Because what's more important than possibly millions of genetically engineered super soldiers, each chapter of which is capable of overthrowing star systems? Knowing how far away that moon is.
You're right. This is definitely inspiring me to create an army, the army of map studiers. Woohoo! Do you know actually they do have a famous Inquisitor? Have you
Yeah.
not heard about him?
No?
Inquisitor Holden. Do you not know him? It's Inquisitor Holden of the Ordo Astra, otherwise known as Holden Astra. Yes. He's back, baby. He's back.
They
Surgery
actually
did
do
not slow
have
me
one.
down.
His name is Thalome
Oh.
Marx. And he was basically hanging out during battle against the Necrons. I'm assuming trying to teach people that the blue part of the map meant water. But
So this is, and we may stumble on this multiple times. This is one of the Ordos that would definitely be like considered the nerds.
oh yeah,
Right.
these guys
Like-
get beaten up by
Yeah.
the other Inquisitors. It'd be like, what are you gonna do? What, X marks the wrong spot? Yeah, all right, nerd.
Yeah, exactly. Your retinue is made up of guys carrying maps. They chose maps over weapons. My retinue has 4 bonkers priests, all with executioners and flamers. Like, if you want to start something, we'll burn all your maps. Like, it's so simple.
Now, I get it. Stellar cartography probably is very important in regards to the Astronomicon and the ability to get from system to system. And for those of you who possibly all get involved in cartography, we are definitely making fun of you as well. But
No, we're not.
We
I forgot
also,
about that.
we also want to point out that when you're in a galaxy filled with Necrons and Tyranids and heretics and all
And
sorts
squats.
of
you.
just bonkers individuals, the getting of point A to point B can be important, but that's why we keep the navigators around.
Yes, exactly. Like, to be honest with you, if the stellar cartographers vanished overnight, the navigators aren't going to be like, oh, well, we can't go anywhere, guys. The maps aren't up to date. They're just going to be like, let's just keep traveling. We'll make it up as we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Road traders have been
it's the
doing
Great
it for
Expanse.
15,000 years. Like,
Imagine an Ordo
they
Astra
have
turning
more
up.
men than the Ordo Astartes. How? How?
This because the Ordo Astartes is secretly the 4th big one. That's
Yeah.
the Ordo Astartes is the Ringo Starr of all the Ordos. You've got your big 3: McCartney, Lennon, and
Stalin?
yeah, that was it, Stalin. He did get booted out of the group quite early, though. Who was it? It's McCartney, Lennon. No, wait. I've got it wrong. It's Lennon, McCartney, Ringo Starr, and the Ordo Astra would be the George Harrison.
Well,
Sort
you
of.
might not know this, but Stalin actually was an early member of the Beatles. They actually stole one of his songs and adapted it. You might have heard, Can't Buy Me Love. It was originally Can't Buy Me Anything, capitalist pig dog. So why don't you jump on to the next one there, mate?
The Ordo Barbarus, consisting of only a little over 10 inquisitors, they oversee pre-industrial human planets and ensure they don't fall into deviant worshipping.
So much
A
more important
second,
than maps.
the second swear word bullshit. There's only a little over 10. Like, surely there would be more.
They are so important.
Yeah.
Like, think of all the pre-industrial, or possibly even like those feudal era planets, where the main method of ensuring their loyalty to the Imperium, because you can't just bombard them with technology, you're having to bring them up to date bit by bit to
Yeah.
utilize not only the resources but the people. The Inquisitors on these planets would be seen as, politicians or advisors and that sort of thing, and they would be ensuring that these primitive peoples are kept in line, that the ecclesiarchy is teaching them the right religion, that they're
Yes.
not,
Yeah.
that you're going into these, because you look at like pre-industrial society all over the place, where you still had almost like heathen worship, ancestor gods, that sort of thing. These inquisitions would be making sure, like, there's none of that. There's none of that. No one's visiting the swamp witch. They're not
Yeah.
they're not making their little dolls to ensure that there's a good harvest, because that's all object worshipping. That's not the emperor.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I see the Ordo Barbarus so much more important than the
The Astra.
the Ordo Melways.
The
Like,
Ordo, wait, yeah. What is the old system? TomTom. The Ordo TomTom.
yeah,
So I'm totally in agreement with you, because instantly the way I think about them is, what is more costly, sending out an inquisitor at a retinue to ensure that a planet doesn't fall to deviant worship, or having to fight that planet? Like, they're going to be pre-industrial, right? So you're going to beat 5 different colors out of them.
mm,
But if the established pathways for their thinking of, heretical worship and deviant worshipping is there, you're going to be trying to put that fire out for decades, even after you've conquered them.
correct.
But if you can already have them practicing the Imperial Creed, or be, you know, um, not vulnerable. What's the bloody word? When you accepting of, or susceptible, or having them susceptible to preachers and so forth to come down and convert them, perhaps before an invasion, or before, trying to then industrialize the world. That is so much more cost effective. That is so much more, I guess, efficient than having to then fight this after the fact of, whether it be, a full colonization of the planet, or actually just completely trying to, to enslave the population for tithe. So yeah, I see them as far more important than the barbarous. But maybe we're just simpletons, Sam. Maybe we don't see it. Maybe we don't see it for what it is. That maybe the Astra really are important. Right. Do you want to? Do you want to read the next one,
Okay.
sir?
And I get it. The Ordo Astra is actually, they are incredibly important. I know that, but there's so much. Yeah, there is so much more in regards to it. Like, they'd have to be taking into account everything, like the maps of the known pathways, especially now with the Cicatrix Maledictum. And you
Yeah.
know what? I've been thinking about it since we've been making fun of them. Yeah, so they would be making sure that the maps themselves show the things that should be shown, but at the same time also show the things that shouldn't be shown. You know what I mean? Like,
I get that. I
maybe
still see them as
pirate
bashed up nerds,
worlds.
though.
Yeah, I think that they're definitely getting beaten up in the library. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that being said,
You're right. You are right. You are right. They would be
the
showing.
Astra also actually, I believe, have close ties to someone we're going to talk about later on. But anyway, so this one here is the Ordo Biologos. Now, basically everything we can find says that the Ordo Biologos is a minor order of the Inquisition. And that's it. So we'll move on to the next one. No,
Yeah.
it's one of those things we don't have a lot of information from. They are referred to in the novel Gazkal Thraka, Prophet of the Wa. Now, judging by the name, the biologos, obviously biology, and
Mm.
I'm guessing that these particular inquisitors have something to do with the study of biology of either mankind or Xenos enemies, or then possibly anything further from that, being it the evolving biology of mankind, the evolvement of abhumans,
Oh
mutants,
yeah,
etc. in
yeah,
there.
right.
But
Yeah.
where my mind goes is actually to the Space Marine apothecaries, and
Do you
primarily,
mean the new thing that came, the
yeah,
the
the
Space Marine?
Primaris Apothecary
Oh,
Biologus.
yeah, yeah, the 10th
S-
edition thing. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
so they're a Primaris Marine apothecary who are specially trained to gain biological samples of Xenos enemies on the battlefield. The mindset being that
Oh,
understanding your enemy, no matter how vile, is the key to defeating them. Now, the Ordo Biologos, I believe, would have been very interested in this particular branch of the apothecary divisions of Space Marine chapters
yeah.
because they would now have, in my mind, their own sort of military force. They could be getting the information from these apothecaries to help
Hmm.
expand their knowledge on their enemies. So they're
Yeah,
able to
true.
then
Yeah.
develop specialist virus weapons or
Or
ammunitions. Like
poisons or
yes,
yeah,
yes,
something that affects particularly affects the Xenos. But I like your point of view of saying that they could also be studying humans as well. So they could be trying to understand better weapons to use against humans. You know what I mean?
yes,
Or better types of chemicals to use to make the population, I guess, more susceptible to command or more susceptible to sacrificing themselves upon the
yes.
battlefield or doing something like that.
But
Yeah.
I'm also seeing them as possibly being interested in the prospect or even the concept of using their knowledge of biology in advancing human and abhuman intelligences, or
Yeah,
possibly even
right.
evolution. In the Gazkal Thraka book, there was, I believe, an Ogrin that had actually had its intelligence adjusted, so it was actually quite smart. Think about the Ogren boneheads.
Yeah, yeah,
Think
yeah.
about the Goliath. Like, think
Mm,
about the adaptations to human and abhuman biology that could be
mm.
expanded upon by either, genetic engineering, etc., or even cross breeding or cross engineering DNA from Xenos species into
Yeah.
humans or abhumans. Like, I can see you're getting angry at that concept, but these are the sort of things I can see someone from the autobiologist getting into.
Yeah, yeah, I'm totally with this. Like, it's so where the Space Marine Apothecary Biologist is very clear that it is about trying to find the best way to defeat the enemy. I think from an inquisitorial point of view, as a biologist, I think their mindset and their point of view would be trying to, okay, yes, we work in conjunction with the Auto Xenos to work out how to destroy the enemy, but this is not necessarily about wiping the enemy out. This is, can we find a better way to defeat them?
Yes.
Can we grow certain plants on a planet that makes those aliens, makes the Eldar react poorly to it? Gives them all horrendous hay fever or something like that. Special Eldar hay fever.
What's the Death
So
Watch ammunition that was designed to kill Tyranids?
I think it's Hellfire rounds.
Hellfire
I think.
rounds?
Yeah, they're like an acid type thing.
Yeah,
They just like
like
melt them.
that's something I can imagine the autobiologist getting into. Or like during the Uriel Ventris books, there was the division of the Ordo Xenos that wanted to get the DNA from one of the Tyranid hive ships so they could create a virus that would actually break down because obviously Tyranids evolve so rapidly that if
Mm,
you create a virus to kill Hormigorns, the hive mind just goes, I'm just going to change their DNA then, you dumb idiot.
yeah,
But if you can get that base DNA from the hive ship, you can adapt your virus to attack that, which breaks them down at the core, which you can't rapidly evolve that out. You can't breed that out of your, your progeny that quick.
Yeah.
So that's what they were doing there. That's something I can see the Autobiologos doing.
And that would be different to the Ordo Xenos, who would be, let's kick their teeth in, let's destroy them, let's drive them back, let's prevent them from taking over Imperial worlds. Whereas the biologists would be sitting there going, let's understand how to defeat them at a level that is, we don't need to raise a weapon to them. We simply put spores in the air and we're going to win this fight. So... yeah, like I think that's a very cool aspect. They've probably only got like maybe 6 members. We can't have them get any more than the Ordo Astra. So,
Did the Ordo Astra just become the new Malal?
That's how they get bullied. You guys are the Malal of the Ordos. Shut up, guys! Give me my maps back. We're going to get so much hate.
I don't have to worry about the Ordo Astra. I've invented this thing called Google Maps. Thanks, guys.
Hey, guys, we can see the Astronomicon. We're fine. Don't worry about it.
There's no waves. We need you anymore. So that's my pun.
Right. Yeah. Oh, you only get one a show. All right. Yeah. All right. The next one is the Ordo Calixis. The Ordo Calixis is an inquisitorial organization that coordinates the Inquisition's activity in the Calixis sector. The organization's headquarters are located on Scintilia. The Ordo Calixis is known to have its own unique brand of bolt pistol manufactured for them on Scintilla, the Sacristan bolt pistol. That's it. That's why they're known as the Ordo Calixis, because they coordinate the Inquisition's activity in the Calixis sector. That's it.
So these are obviously from the Dark Heresy role-playing books.
Let me just tell you something.
Yep.
The Ordo Calixis heard what we were doing to the Ordo Astra and went, hold my beer. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to be ridiculed. I'm going to show you how to be made a laughing stock of.
You could just there's just like, we want them to not take us too seriously, but we're going to remind them that we have bolt pistols.
Yeah, exactly. So you're the Inquisition force that manages bolt pistols. Oh no, not all bolt pistols. One bolt pistol. Just
the Sacristan
that's made specific.
bolt
the
pistol.
Sacristan. Yeah, that's made for us, and only we use it. So you don't need to worry about it falling into enemy hands. Oh, not really. We've lost a couple. We've had a few jams here and there, but you ever shot them? Oh no, because we just handle a little world, and that's about it. Yeah, nice, cool. Ordo Astra, beat them up. Yay! It's our time to shine.
So they manage the Calixis sector in the Segmentum Obscurus. It's a population. Scintilla is actually a population of about 25 billion. So actually, weirdly enough, still more popular than the Ordo Astra. But yeah, so the Ordo Calixis comes from the Dark Heresy role-playing series. It's basically because they're in the Calixis sector. There is a lot more to them, but that's for a different episode. If we ever do one on Dark Heresy, we should play Dark Heresy. But
isn't there a computer game of that coming as well?
Pardon?
There is a computer game of that coming as well.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, done. We'll do an Ordo Calixis episode once that comes out. Yeah. Done.
We'll allow them to redeem themselves.
To redeem themselves. How did I get stuck with this one?
I'm reading the name of the next read. This is gold. Go, sir, go.
The Ordo Cartographica. I'm going to read this first part, even though we've not read it for any of the other ones. The Ordo Cartographica is a minor ordo of the Inquisition. You don't say. They strive to censor stellar maps used by various imperial organizations, keeping certain objects off the charts in the name of their users' sanity. They are the ones scratching off the signature of the Ordo Astra off every map they can.
Just putting their stamp literally over the top of their name.
And it's the same stamp, but it's in blue as opposed to red. Just comes out purple.
Yeah, and they're
But
just like, what did you actually change on the map? Down the bottom. We
down
took
the
your name
bottom,
off it.
yeah,
Yeah, we've censored it
I
correctly.
scribbled "Here be dragons." Yeah, once again, these are the Inquisitors of maps. Let's have a look if we can find anything here. It
Oh,
doesn't.
look, I mean, they're a bit more than the Inquisitor of maps in the sense that they don't go out there and make the maps, but they're the ones
They're
who go,
censoring
hey,
them.
hey, hey, look, that's an Iron Warrior's potential fortress world. Let's cross that off the map
But
because nobody wants to be that bored.
yeah, or
So,
this world fell to chaos. We've censored this world. We're removing it from the maps, so
yeah,
people
yeah.
aren't interested in going there. We're taking things off there. We're getting rid of this moon or this. What do they call Pluto now? A dwarf planet?
I don't know. I think,
I think
yeah,
it's a
they call
squat
it
world.
a squad.
We're
Damn,
getting
I
rid
was
of
just
we're
about to
getting rid
say
of this
it.
squat world because we don't want people going there because we have an inquisitorial fortress there, or
Yeah,
this particular asteroid belt. We don't want people going there because there's a space Hulk that shows up there that's constantly full of demons. The
yeah. So,
Autocartographica are the it's a Big Brother from 1984. You know how they change the maps and stuff. That's them.
yeah, yeah,
They're the ones
yeah.
being like our beloved allies, the Eldar. We've always been at war with the Eldar. You know, they're
Yeah, so these guys, I could see them like getting the Astra maps and just going like red stamping all these sections and going like delete all them, get them off your map, even
yep,
after they put in all the hard work to go find them. And so maybe just survived on that demon planet, one of the Astra members, just to so they could properly log it into their map, and then just being like, no, just cross it off. It's done. We don't go there. We don't talk about it. Be quiet. I view their role as probably a little bit more, probably a little bit,
clandestine.
yeah, a bit more clandestine, but a bit more sort of. I don't want to say this word, but I'm struggling to think of another word for it. But a bit more serious than what the Astra do. Like the Astra, reiterate the point, they're very important, but the cartographer are the one that come in and say, no, 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 no. Don't go to any of these areas. And that power would make them very, very important as well. So if you want to hide something, say Space Marine Chapter wants to hide something, or the Ordo Xenos wants to hide something, or the Lords of Terror come in and say, we don't want this planet showing up. We don't want this planet being accessible on the standard star maps and whatever.
Yes.
Cross it off. And so they would have an incredible amount of power. They where the Astra are just sort of going, here's the whole everything. The cartographer are coming in and going, we're the ones who, you know, we're the ones who put the black lines over the box casts. Like, you know, they would blank out that, blank out that. They're blanking out. And so that, I think, would give them an incredible amount of power. They probably only have like maybe 16 members, though, because we know that you can't go past the 50 of the Astra. So, right. The the next one is
It's actually an awesome one.
yeah, so it's the Ordo Chronos. The Ordo Chronos are an Ordo Minoris of the Inquisition that combat and prevent anomalies in time due to the use of warp travel. The Ordo was established to study the anomalous passage of time during interstellar travel through the warp. This is because of the fact that time works differently within the Imperium. In rare circumstances, vessels can arrive at their destination much later than intended. For example, taking centuries to arrive, whilst only months have passed on board the vessel, whilst within the warp. Tales of such dreadful fates are common knowledge amongst void travellers and accepted as one of the risks of warp travel. In extremely rare circumstances, vessels may even arrive back in real space at a time before they actually set out.
So, do
The
you think
Ordos.
then that the bosses just don't pay you because technically you haven't worked?
Yeah, and just look at the schedule. I mean, yeah, you actually owe me money. Like, you look how much how much you ate on the ship, how much you used the resources on the ship, and you didn't make any money during that period of time. So Cough it up, Chief. Actually, I own you. I own you now. Done. Yeah, I think that's quite possible. And given the Imperium, it would just be like, yes, absolutely.
Makes sense to
This
me,
has worked
Chief.
out perfectly. Yeah, and every like little bean counter waits for that moment. They just check the warp time for when the ship comes out. They're like, oh no, that one's arrived slightly on time, or that one's arrived later. Oh well, so be it. But anyway, there's a bit more to the Chronos read. This ordo is believed to have been established to study the temporal anomalies or other such effects that might emerge within the vicinity of the Jericho Reach, with a view to controlling or combating them. Inquisitors of the Ordo Chronos were particularly concerned with the effects of time distortions that could lead to a disruption of the proper flow of time due to unintended interventions in the past. Such actions are deemed as interference in the fate of mankind and against the will of the God Emperor. Over the course of centuries, the Ordo Chronos expanded their mandate to relate to all forms of temporal phenomena and include other such events that might be a deliberate attempt to interfere with the flow of time. The Ordo Chronos was thought disappeared without a trace. Some believe that they were in hiding, whilst others hold the view that they came into competition with renegade factions of the Adeptus Mechanicus in the pursuit of long-forgotten technology. This is not the first Ordo to have vanished over the millennia, with some going merely quiescent for a period, while others were hiding so deep that even other Inquisitors could not find them. Before the disappearance of all Ordo Chronos members, the Death Watch partook in a joint operation with them. The Ordo Chronos once again appeared in Imperial history in M42 during the Chrono Strife. The conflict erupted when the reborn Robo Guilliman attempted to reorganize the Imperium's dating system and create a reliable history. The result was a bitter internal conflict with the Ordo Chronos that is currently ongoing. Operatives of the Ordo Chronos accompanied the fleets of the Indomitus Crusade, where they assisted shipboard chronologians with calculating the time elapsed during warp travel. So they're obviously a major factor, um, basically because they keep the time. They keep track of everything that's going on. And when reading about them, I reckon they would be crying tears of joy to get anywhere near Secundus. They would just be like,
Oh, well,
get me there,
yeah,
baby.
there's going to be a
Yeah.
whole rant about Necromunda at the end of this part here. But um, so the Ordo Chronos, obviously Chronos time.
Mm.
Now, they're obviously there in regards to warp travel. Warp, is all ooky spooky because, yeah, you're not really in existence, you're out of existence. Yeah, you can go and you can experience 3 months on the ship, but 3 years have gone past, or 3 minutes, or 3 hours, or 3 days, or negative 300 years. Like, there are instances of
Or,
ships traveling back in time.
yeah. Or what happened to the Vansar?
Yeah, you,
You know?
you literally
Yeah.
just go poof, and you show
Yep.
up thousands of years later.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
time distortion and all that sort of stuff is obviously incredibly difficult to manage, and you don't want things happening like, what's to say that I can't remember what it was, but what's to say your ship doesn't go back in time and all of a sudden you've you've caused a religious schism because you're talking about things that haven't happened, or you
Yeah.
accidentally
Yeah.
crash into a ship coming up on a planet called Ulanor and you kill Horus. Like, you don't know what's going on. But another important aspect to the Ordo Chronos is in Warhammer 40k, they actually don't know what year it is. Like,
Oh, right.
time has been so broken and records have been so damaged. And Gulliman himself comments on this. He's just sort of like, how long have I been asleep? And they say X number of time, but then
Hmm.
second person says X number of time and third person goes X
Hmm.
number of time. And they look at it because time is so different everywhere because communications aren't instantaneous. Astropaths are sending them along these channels. It may take
Mm.
hours, days, weeks, months, years for these messages to be received. And
Yeah.
you can't just be like, well, okay, well, how many days has it been? Because your solar cycles are different on every single planet. But the
Yeah,
Imperial
true. Yeah.
government has no idea the exact day or time or even year. So everyone is that's why when you look at the imperial calendar, it's like
Mm. Yeah.
M41305. It actually indicates that this is just a guess, because the further you are away from Terra, the bigger the gap, and the more likely it is that the
Mm.
time you're putting down is wrong. So the Ordo Chronos is also very important in this, because at the end of the day, they need to know how many days, weeks, months, or years have gone past, not just for military and record keeping and all that sort of stuff, but the tithe. They need to know that the tithe is
Of
being paid
course,
on
yes.
time by all of these planets. Now,
Yeah.
the fact that they're discovering they're going through warp travel and that's only just part. The time is such a big thing. The Ordo Chronos aren't the ones investigating time itself, but they
Mm.
would be having part to do with it. They're obviously there in regards to the anomalous passage of time during interstellar travel through the warp, and then from that, temporal anomalies and time travel. So
Mm.
this is possibly the biggest joke of an Ordos that has been invented, because they're like, y'all can study as much as you want, but until you can
Yeah.
prove time travel, you aren't really doing anything. And then I'm picturing a set like Steve, the guy from before, walking in, being like, oh, hey guys, I was thinking next week maybe we should start a swear jar. And there's just a bunch of them looking at it and be like, didn't he die months ago?
Yeah. No,
What just happened?
mate, you've got my brain ticking hard on this, and excuse the pun there, but that that is you are so right. They can't actually prove anything really. Like it is so difficult. They could prove definitely that the hand of the emperor, sword class frigate left planet whatever on this particular day and time according to that planet and arrived at this particular sector at this particular time. But in terms of like the actual travel of time, in terms of being able to understand what that has done to that ship, what it means to the relevant time periods on that planet, it means nothing.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? They they are simply. It's almost like they're a what is it when you take a tablet and it's a placebo?
Yeah.
They're almost like a placebo for the Imperium or for Gulliman to say, yes, we are doing something here. We will give you information and we will give you data, and there'll be lots of it, and it'll be, heavily convoluted, and we will try and make you understand it. But it is time, and it is understanding that the time that we're talking about, and specifically what you said, is like if we go off standard Terran time, that is not relevant to the people on the very edges of our empire. That standard Terran time needs to be adjusted by X, Y, and Z. Now, then they also have their standard periods of time that they work from based upon their sun and their planet and whatever the case might be. And that's without even factoring in the warp. So everything that they're doing, it's almost like it's very hard to understand exactly what they're trying to achieve. We can understand that they want to have a better concept of the dilation of time and the warp effect upon that. Yes, tick, 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 we understand that. But what they're actually trying to achieve, like what their purpose and benefit is for the Imperium, just seems really, again, like I say, like for me, it just screams, give us information so that we don't feel like we're fighting against something that is just impossible.
But can you imagine these Inquisitors attempting to force a ship to go into the warp for simple distance travel, right? But then attempting to manipulate the warp itself to move them back in time. So they would be looking for wormholes and portents. They would be using psychers and
Mm,
scryers and possibly even trying to lean on the skills of, for
mm.
example, Eldar Farseers and the
Or the
like there.
Mechanicum, like what they said, they clash with the Mechanicum because
Yeah,
they'd be trying to find that time jump technology. Sorry, I'm sort of
yeah, no,
scrapping what you're saying,
exactly.
but I'm totally getting it. Like they, yeah, that's probably their end goal. Their end goal is we want to be time travelers.
Because can you imagine
Hmm,
them turning around and going, okay, well, the Drukari have just attacked, um, I don't know, Epping Minor, and
hmm,
they've completely destroyed the Astra Militarum regiment there, and
yeah,
we needed them to reinforce this particular war zone. And you go, okay. So then the Ordo Chronos go, well, that's fine. Well, what we'll do is we'll just boop, 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 jump into our time ship, move back. Hey, we need you to be prepared to attack this spot here at this time. Why? Just do as you're told. And, the artillery starts firing. They have no idea why they're firing as that webway gate opens. And you wipe out that
mm,
Eldar force, that Dark Eldar force, sorry, before they've even, fired Splinter round
yeah,
one. So, but
yeah,
you're then using
absolutely.
that technology, which obviously goes against the Adeptus Mechanicus, and there's all
Mm,
sorts of different points there. But the Ordo Chronos would see themselves as so super important because of this. But at the same time,
mm,
they would also need to be so careful because, as it literally says, like they need to ensure that they're minimizing what happens. Inquisitors of the Autochronos were particularly concerned with the effects of time distortions that could lead to a disruption of the proper flow of time due to unintended interventions in the past. So to make sure they don't go back too far and accidentally kill the wrong Eldar, and then all of a
mm,
sudden, um, who's the Corsair? Uriel isn't leading the
mm.
Iandan fleet against the Tyranids.
Yeah, yeah,
Instead,
yeah,
he's leading them against the Ultramarines.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
the wrong thing happens. He was never kicked off Iandan. All of a sudden, he's Iandan's warlord, not a Corsair king. You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it'll be little things like that.
Yeah,
And
it's like you just can't go back and kill
what's it
Horus.
called?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's you can't just go back and kill Horus because then all of a sudden, instead Gulliman falls to chaos. Then everyone's in
Yeah.
trouble. It'd be like death by 1,000 forms in triplicate. But the all of a sudden the chaos god of I have no staples left. Where's my TPS report, Malal?
Yeah.
Where's my TPS report? Um, but yeah, like it just what is the butterfly effect? You
Yeah,
go back
yeah.
in time, you change one thing, all of a sudden the emperor is still alive, but
Mm,
humanity's now doomed.
mm,
So
mm,
where this one here actually does tie in to Necromunda really,
mm.
really well. Um, and it's in a couple of different ways. So firstly, there was an item from I believe it was the Book of Ruin, and it was a chrono crystal. Now,
Okay. Yep.
chrono crystals are fabled items that Bald Brian, the infamous mayor of Necromunda's Rust town, has given to anyone that can claim them from his deadly maze. Only a handful of gangs and individuals have ever won Brian's crystals, and doing so has now become vanishingly rare. Those that have succeeded, though, have earned Brian's eternal enmity and may also eventually cross paths with the Ordo Chronos. This is likely due to the rumours that Brian serves dark forces, and the crystals are links in a plot that will bring around the Chrono Cataclysm. Now, the
All
Chrono
right.
Cataclysm is an event that some on Necromunda will come around due to chrono crystals given out by Rusttown's infamous mayor, Bald Brian. What the Chrono Cataclysm actually is, however, depends on who you ask in the Hive world. Some will tell you that it is a plot by the immortal cult to bring about the psychic awakening of all humanity. I love those crazy bastards.
Yeah, they're
Others are planned by the
glorious.
ancient Iron Lords of the Arrhenius continuity to free Necromunda from the yoke of the Imperium. or that Rusttown was created by House Aranthus, and that Bald Brian is in fact Brian Aranthus, last true heir of his family, and the chrono crystals are intended to restore his bloodline by turning back time. There are also those that say it is not
Wow.
true
Yeah.
and that Brian really serves dark forces who are using the crystals for some fiendish plot. Others rebuke this and claim he is really an agent of the throne, and Brian's true plans have already come to pass. If this is true, then they claim that everyone is now living in an alternative reality created by the Ordo Chronos. Now, if you also go into way back when the Apocrypha Necromundus on Rust Town, um, Bald Brian has access to these crystals, and no one really seems to understand, but they seem to be almost crystallized time, and it
Oh,
causes
wow.
all sorts of insane nonsense to actually occur. So one of the owners is Hagen, who's the owner of Hagen's Hole,
Mm.
and who was sold a crystal by a notable Underhive bounty hunter in order to cover an outlandish drinking tab. Now, the chrono crystal now lies above Hagen's bar, and some drinkers claim the crystal does strange things to the flow of time when you look at it, although that may just be the booze. Another is One-Eyed Kitty, a blade dancer out of two tunnels. She also has one, and it was given to her by an admirer. When she dances, she wears the crystal in her navel, its sparkle mesmerizing the audience. And then there's one owned by Castus the Chain Lord, set into the hilt of his shocklash. Its brilliance forms a stark contrast to the slaver's grimy appearance and broken grin. So these have obviously all passed from the hands of Bald Brian and moved into these three owners. Now, Rust Town itself is also the location of an anomaly of time. Some traders
Oh,
actually
wow.
swear
Okay.
the isolated settlement only sprung up a few cycles ago and claim to have crossed the bone dry dozens of times without ever laying eyes on it before then. Others reckon it to be amongst the oldest of the Underhive settlements, saying its foundations were laid long before the cataclysm that created Dustfalls, or before Sump City herself rose from the slime of Hive Bottom. Why it exists in the middle of what constitutes a man-made desert is unclear, though hivers, guilders, and nobles all make the trek to its gates and visit the court of Bald Brian. Now, the Bone Dry is actually a cistern that is the
Yeah.
size of a solar freighter, once completely underwater, but is now an open dust bowl. So, traders who have been making this trade route for years of their life, who would need to
Yeah.
know the location of these settlements,
Hmm.
are saying they've never been there. And others are saying that it's been there for years and years, almost like it both exists and doesn't exist in and outside of time.
Well, what did we talk about with the Ordo Chronos? It is time distortion. This
It's a
is the
distortion of time.
this yeah, this is exactly it. And those crystals and those things that are happening, like it almost screams warp entity. It almost screams sort of warp energy that is doing it to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there is no other point that we can look at and reliably say that is going to manipulate time other than the warp. So if that be the case, then those crystals that they're holding, Bald Brian, they all seem like perhaps those who are dabble, well, not the ones who necessarily own the crystals, but definitely Brian, have dabbled in warp science, I want to call it, not necessarily
Yep.
technology, and perhaps the crystals are a form of a warp technology. Maybe they are something that the forces of the Imperium are trying to manufacture to maybe jump back in time and ensure that the Horus Heresy is something that is successful. Does that
Yeah,
make sense? Would you not look at that and go, "Hey, we know where you failed on Terra. One of the legions booted off after they basically did nothing. So if we could get that legion to stay and continue fighting, rather than just knocking down a 1 meter square and a wall and then leaving, maybe." I'm obviously insulting the Iron Warriors here, but maybe we could not be living in within the warp. Maybe we do rule the galaxy as the forces of chaos.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And
right.
see, it's these little time distortions like this. It's these little snippets of what's actually happening. The Ordo Chronos is incredibly important, and we still
Yeah.
haven't even touched on their civil war.
I was
Like,
just about to bring that up.
yeah,
Like, what the
the
heck is
chronostrife.
that?
The
Yeah.
chronostrife is what we were talking about before, where no one knows what year it is. I think
Mm,
Gulliman actually looked at it all because he's got crazy, like, accountant brain, and
mm, mm.
he's reading through the information. He goes, "You guys think it's the 41st millennium?" He's like, "I think it's the 42nd." And
Yeah, right.
he's going through. He's just like bang, 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 bang. No, that one's dumb. Ignore that. Bang, bang, bang. That's dumb. Ignore that.
Mm,
And he's like,
mm.
"There's at least another 1,000 years between
Yeah.
Dad sitting in the chair and now."
Mm. Yeah.
And so
Mm.
the chronostrife is basically this huge civil war that's occurring in regards to the passing of time. Well, we talked about it before, but they're sitting there going, there's no way that this has all occurred. People are saying, okay, but yeah, but we look at the stars, we look at the local time. It goes, yes, and that's fine. And they're telling you it happened now. But that check number system that we talked about before, it's
Mm.
it takes into account so much. And weirdly enough, this is also very important. Going back to the Ordo Aegis, stellar cartography would actually be very important in the calculation of galactic time, because obviously if you're judging it by the speed of light or even the speed
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
sound, like, well, speed of light is faster, so you're judging by the speed of
Yeah.
light, it will obviously
Yeah.
take larger amounts of time for light to travel from the light of the
Yeah.
Astronomicon to your planet,
Yeah.
because the galaxy is ever growing and ever moving. But you make maps, nerds. But
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're once again, they're actually important here as well. But yeah, the chronostrife is genuinely the fact that they can't agree. They don't have a minister of calendars who can just go,
Mm.
it's this day, it's this time. And so the Ordo Chronos is just like,
Because that would be
God damn.
conflicting information.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you're right. You don't have this mayor of time who goes, it's this, because then you would have others who would come out and say, well, we think it's this time. Just exactly as you described, Gulliman saying it's this period of time. And so I don't know a lot about the chronostrife, but is it a civil war in the traditional sense of a civil war? Is that are
No,
they fighting each other?
it's a
It's more of
civil
a
war. It's an intellectual civil war, because
that's yeah,
everyone
okay,
is
that's what I
trying
was
to
thinking.
say
Yeah.
this is it, and then someone else is
Mm,
going, no, this is it, and then someone else is going,
mm.
no, this is it, and then there's just three Goliaths in the background nodding their heads like,
Yeah.
mm, mm,
Time.
mm, mm. Teal.
Time
I
out.
like
Yeah.
teal.
Yeah.
But
So, but and you're right. Like the point of that is that the read says that the conflict erupts when Gulliman is reborn. So these are Primarchs coming back and saying, "Hang on," and it would be interesting to see if there's if the Lion has a point of view about the chronostrife as well.
he's just
You know,
slept for about 10,000 years. He is going to wake up and just, because we've all done it. We've all fallen asleep on the couch, and like, your partner or your housemate or whoever turns the lights out and turns the TV off, and you wake up and you sit up and you just sort of do that look around and be like, where am I? When
yeah.
Why is everything
What
dark?
happened?
Why
Yeah, what happened
there's a
here? Yeah.
there's a blanket on me. For some reason I'm
Yeah.
wearing one shoe, and I
Yeah.
have I have a warm beer. Okay, let me finish this beer, and we're going to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But mm,
that's what the lion's doing. He's waking
yeah,
up and
yeah, yeah,
he's
100%.
looking
It's
for
just like,
he's looking for his other shoe and his cod piece, and he's
yeah,
going, okay, someone get me a
yeah,
calendar. Where's Luther?
yeah, yeah. Luther, best buddy, come on. Um, yeah, it would be interesting to see the take on other members of the Imperium, like Belisarius calls it take because we know he's been around for so long.
He
Do you know
would
what I
be
mean?
the only
What?
one who would have an accurate passing of time, I genuinely believe.
Yeah, but that passing of time would be relevant to him.
His location.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, his location. So yeah, the Chronos are really, really interesting, and I think it's to dabble in what and who the Chronos are. It's almost too dangerous for the Imperium. Do you know what I mean? And I say that from like an IP point of view as well, because it's kind of like we don't we don't want to give too much information away about this because then we are lifting the veil a little bit and we're forcing ourselves to have to plot when particular things happened and how they happened and you know and then we can start to begin to understand a little bit more about warp travel and it would throw out the whole system. The Chronos, the Ordo Chronos not being accurate is important to maintaining the mystery and the jeopardy of the Warhammer 40,000
Yeah.
universe.
But
Yeah.
then you have this attempt. So Gilliman wants obviously to come up with a new idea, and he's like, once I've finished, you know, he's doing the Russell Crowe thing, making movies, making songs, and fighting around the galaxy. He's just traveling from war zone to war zone, punching people
Yeah.
and installing new
Yeah.
forms of government.
Yeah.
He's like, once I finish this, I'll come back and I will come up with a new calendar. And that's all well and good to say. But then you have the Cicatrix Maledictum, and that thing is causing more time dilation and
Mm.
then more like because the rift itself, like this, and once again coming back to the Ordo Astra, the distances now covered when traveling, like getting from the southern section of the Imperium to the far north, like you have to travel across the Great Rift, and
Yeah. Yeah.
half the time ships just aren't making it. And I know there's paths going through and that sort of thing, fair enough, but the time dilation effects that's going to cause, where the perfect point, I think it's going to be, BC and AD. So, and I only recently found out that BCE doesn't stand for before Christ existed. It means before the Common Era. Um,
Well, I think that's a modern thing.
I
So I
think
think
it is
back in the
modern.
day.
Yeah, BC is before
Yeah. Yeah.
Christ, and then
Yeah.
AD is after
Yeah.
death.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or Anno Domini, I believe. But
Yeah. But they changed it
BCE
all
is before the
because
Common Era. But
yeah.
so the new BCE is basically, in my mind, everything before the Cicatrix Maledictum,
Mm.
and the Common Era is
Mm.
basically day one of the galaxy being ripped in half. That's the ideal point to set your new
Oh,
calendar
right. Yeah.
from
Okay. That makes
there.
a great deal of sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because yeah, all time is going to be relevant to that period of time because we know the rift distorts time.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's the
Do you
thing.
know
The
what? This
distortions
is
themselves are it's going to be insane. Because
Doctor Who needs to get involved in this.
yeah, honestly, we need to get Gulliman a TARDIS
Yeah.
and like a fancy scarf. This is literally all I know about Doctor Who. I still haven't watched it. Or
I think you
Astartes.
would love it.
Um,
I still can't believe that. That
yeah,
that actually upsets me that you haven't watched that.
yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was driving and I was like, "Oh, I've seen the stuff for Astartes too." And then it just made me remember you, and I was just like, "You absolute clown of a human
Yeah.
being."
But
After we finish this, you're watching it.
yeah, no. So going back to the Ordo Chronos, this is so ridiculously important because also we have the disappearance of the Ordo Chronos way back when, where they're obviously been. This is pre-return of Gulliman. We're sort of jumping back
Mm,
and forth here,
yeah.
almost like our time is all out of sync. Now, so what happened is they've obviously been investigating temporal anomalies and all that sort of thing. They've done this for several centuries. And then for some unexpected reason, at exactly the same time, every single member of the Ordo Chronos disappears. All
Yeah.
right? They're gone. And then all of a sudden, Gulliman comes back, and so do they. I truly believe that
Oh,
Gulliman or a member of the Ordo Chronos from either this new common era or possibly even further ahead has come back in time and said to them, I need all of you, and has taken them somewhere or has sent them somewhere. And
mm,
for however many years, they've been removed and have been brought back to assist Gulliman, possibly under the orders of Gulliman from the future, saying that he needs their help in fixing possibly these temporal anomalies caused by the cicatrix maledictum, and to
yeah.
help him find the
I'm
remote.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you on this. I can see that maybe they were the ones who assisted in the rebirth of Gulliman. You know, like maybe
Putting things
they,
into the right places.
yeah, you're like
Like,
and it makes sense that they, you know, they disappear all at the same time because if they have somehow begun to understand and being able to utilize time travel, they said we need them all because we need all of their power, all of their brains, everything that's going on with them, so that we can defeat whatever great nemesis that they're needing to face in the future.
yeah. But
Wow.
what's to
Yeah.
say that that civil war that's occurring, quote unquote, now during the
Mm.
Chronos strife, what's to say that the Inquisitors from back then haven't been drafted into this war in the future in an
Yeah.
attempt
Yeah.
to weed out the heretical elements of the Ordo Chronos, or possibly even killing their own future heretical selves to stop this civil war and try. And I say it civil war like it's this huge thing, but time travel creates all sorts of wibbly wobbly
Timey
things in
wimey.
your
Yep.
timey wimey nonsense. Um, but yeah, like there's so many, and it's insane. Like we can't give you an exact answer because
No,
Games
this
Workshop have
is
written this just to drive us insane. Someone from the future has gone back in time and said these two Australian idiots are going to be talking about this one day. This is how we're going to get them. Um,
also
yeah.
shoot that guy with the potato.
Also, shoot the guy with
Um,
the potato gun. Trust me.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I'm with you. This the more we talk about this, and we would probably talk the most about this one, is it feels like a bit of a quagmire. It feels like you can go back and forth, and you can. There's all the little nuances. It's not as direct and as obvious, and given that nature, you'd assume that the Ordo Chronos has probably only got about 17 members. So um,
depends on the time, I
that,
guess.
pardon?
Depends on the time, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But this is an Ordos that I think at some point probably will hold the balance of the Imperium of sorry, at some point will hold the balance of the Imperium in their hands.
And apparently, a
They,
bunch of them are on Necromunda.
yeah, yeah, rightio. So
Yeah.
Necromunda going to be a core going to be a core part of the story development. There we go,
That would be
folks.
very cool. And
It would
interestingly
be very
enough,
cool.
there is a very, very cool member of the Ordo Chronos. He is August Helden, IIV, also known as the Elder slash Younger. So I'm guessing it's a mixture of Helden the First and Helden the Fourth because they don't know which one he
Oh,
is.
righto. Yeah,
He's
yep,
an
yep.
inquisitor of the Ordo Chronos, and he actually wrote the text avoiding becoming your own grandfather and other paradoxes that create unnecessary paperwork for the administratum. Um, it provides information on chronal
Oh, good
dilation
God.
during warp transit, and the text is made available to guardsmen within their regimental libraries. This comes to us from the Regimental Standard, that sort of magazine that was sort of
Yeah,
little articles were posted on Warhammer Community.
yeah.
It's so dumb. I love it.
That is ridiculous. So that's yeah, that makes sense. He is the first and the fourth probably. Yeah, because he's not going to be his own grandfather.
Well, yeah, I think he's his own great grandfather.
Jesus. Right, all right. Moving on from that. I think we've chronoed ourselves out. Let us
The next one there is the Ordo Custotum. Now, founded in M35, it currently consists of under 50 Inquisitors. That number again it just keeps getting to me. They keep a vigilant watch on Terra, capital of the Imperium. Okay, stop. So, the Ordo Astra, okay, the map crew
Yeah.
in a world of 38,000 years of advancement of Google Maps or Waze or
Just
of
the
all that
Meltway.
sort of stuff. Just the Melways. And for any non-Australians, you're not going to get that. Anyone under the age of about 30 isn't going to get that.
Yeah.
But those four of you who understand that joke, you are holding your sides in right now. But the Ordo Astra has over 50 Inquisitors, okay?
Yep.
Those nerds.
Yep.
Now, the Ordo Custotum, who protect Holy Terra,
Yep.
is less than 50 Inquisitors. Now, Nathan.
Yes. Sam.
Nathan, my dear beloved co-host.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember in the Gene Stealer Cult episode where we talked about the fact there was a Gene Stealer cult
This
on
exactly where my mind went when you said there was less than 50. And do you know why there's a Gene Stealer cult on Terra? Because there's less than 50 Inquisitors.
Because the 37 of them
Yeah.
are in charge of probably one of the most populated planets in the entirety of the Imperium.
Yep.
There's I'm actually going to look this up because I think it's a population of like 1 trillion people. It's in the hundreds of billions.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Hundreds of billions. Let's just say hundreds plural, 200 billion, all right?
Yep.
Going to do some quick maths. Divided by, let's say, I don't know, man. Let's say there's 40 of them. 40?
Call it 40. Yeah, call it. That's a nice round number. Yep.
Divided by 40. Okay. That's actually a really easy one. That's 5 billion. Each of those Inquisitors has to pay attention to 5 billion people. Okay? Now let's compress that even more. Let's say of those 5 billion, let's say 10 of them are toddlers. Okay? That job is already impossible.
Yeah. And then potentially, oh no, I was going to say one of them is heretical, but I know a toddler. I know several toddlers. They're all heretical.
All toddlers are demon children. Okay, here's one for you. And sorry, this is actually a little bit of a rant about my personal life, listeners. I apologise.
Shock horror.
So before we were recording tonight, we've got this routine, so we have dinner and that, and then we do like bath/shower time, and then my wife will put our kids to bed, and then I'll clean up the kitchen and get the dishes in the dishwasher, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just this nightly routine, and I have music going on in the background or whatever, and my son comes out and he walks up to me and he puts his arms out, and I lean down and I give him a cuddle, and I was like, oh, and he's like, I love you, Daddy. And I'm like, I love you too. Like, did you just come out to give me a cuddle? He goes, no, Mummy said I had to. And then walks straight back into his room, and I'm just like, oh, okay. I want one of these Ordo Custotum fellas. I'm reporting that little turd. I'm volunteering him as a heretic.
Yeah.
He took the Emperor's name in fact. He's a cultist. Yeah. He's a demagogue. He's all of it. You know why? Because he lured me in. He's probably a Necron.
Yeah.
He lured me in and he broke my heart. And he knew what he did. Oh.
And I just love it that he's just gone, no, I'll tell you the truth because I know that'll upset you. Yeah.
The truth will hurt more. That's why I'll do it.
So these,
there's 40 blokes
yeah,
or 40 Inquisitors for the
yeah,
entirety of Holy Terror. This
yeah,
is why you wound up with a Gene Stealer cult.
yes, yeah, and this is why you end up with, you know, reports of cases of, you know, the Thunder Warriors potentially still being on Terra. Why, you know, it's still not a stabilized planet per se. You know,
Correct.
there's always some sort of upheaval or something going on because you have 40 representatives of what is effectively the Imperium CIA, and that is all watching over Earth, the most important single planet. It's
Correct.
absolutely insanity, and I guess when we are exploring things such as minor orders of the Inquisition, we do have to accept that maybe they were just written like, yeah, do you know what? We probably need to have a section of the Inquisition that watches over Holy Terror. What do you want to do? We'll write it up as like there's like 40 of them. Whatever, that'll be enough. Written back in like 1998 or something like that, and then left just to hang in space. I
you can
just
be, you can imagine it's just literally there's some Inquisitors like you know, Inquisitor Steve from earlier.
yeah,
Mate, we need you to start a brand new minor order. Oh, this is great, Lord Inquisitor. What can I do for you? You are going to be in charge of the Ordo that protects Holy Terror, the birthplace of mankind itself.
yeah,
Oh my God, Emperor, really?
yeah,
It's like, yep. And I'll be given the best of the best, like ensuring that, you know, the very throne of our God Emperor is protected. That's right. You get this crew. And it's literally just the latest batch of people being sent to the Schola Progenum. And it's
no,
just like I'm picturing like pimply kids, and I'm actually
I
picturing a 40k version of the Breakfast Club. It's
see.
just kids
I
in
thought you were
detention.
gonna. I thought you were gonna say it's the rejected retinue members from the Ordo Astra. Just like, oh, we don't want them. We've actually got too many people. Send them off to some new minor ordo that's just starting up. They'll be able to use them somehow.
Perfect.
Um, it's crazy, but look, this is another one of those autos that I think probably deserves a fair amount of I guess digging into investigation, because there's a lot that they would have to deal with. Probably not as fun as and exciting as the Ordo Astartes, but you know, we're talking the custodes, we're talking the High Lords of Terror, we're talking the base of operations for the Administratum, we're talking the base of operations for the Astra Militarum, we're talking the Sisters of Silence. There's so many
We're,
different.
we're talking the High Lords. We're talking the Palace. We're
Yeah,
talking the Gene Vaults.
yeah,
We're talking everything.
yeah, yeah.
At the end of
So
the day, Gulliman himself has to come back to Terra. And if these 40 just absolute bollocks are unable to do their job, like 5 billion, like that's that is so many people.
oh, just
And that's at the
abs-
low end of the hundreds.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's absolutely crazy that is the number, but it, the only line that we have from them, the only information we have is they keep a vigilant watch on Terra. So if we can extrapolate exactly what the Inquisition does, and again, I'll make my reference of I see the Inquisition as the CIA. They're doing the dirty ops, the black ops, the stuff behind the scenes and so forth.
Yes.
If they're doing all this kind of stuff, you imagine all manner of tomfoolery going on Terra that these inquisitors need to address themselves to. So I think it would be, hey, maybe there is 40 inquisitors, but there's thousands. Their retinues consist of maybe thousands upon thousands of henchmen. It would absolutely have to, even more than
If there's
thousands.
yeah, if there's
Mm,
40 inquisitors, right? Okay,
mm,
let's just say there is 40.
mm.
I imagine they would have basically divided the planet into, let's say, 40 districts.
Mm,
and each of those inquisitors would be responsible for one of those districts. All right, so
mm,
I'm going to rationalize this. I'm no longer just ranting about the fact that there's not enough of them.
mm.
And in those 40 districts, you'd have one inquisitor. But you're absolutely right. They would have retinues in the possibly tens of
Yeah,
thousands.
yeah,
They
yeah.
would have squads of Arbite. They would have precincts worth
Mm,
of Arbites. They would
mm,
have, all manner of privateers and mercenaries and
mhm.
psychers and investigators. There would be so many of them. And even then, if each of them had a retinue of 10,000,
Mm,
40,000,
mm.
400,000.
Yep.
40
Quick
times 10,000
maths.
is 400,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quick maths. Good stuff.
Yeah. 400,000, 500,000, I
Mm.
believe is still not enough to
Absolutely not.
police a world like Terra.
Because
Especially,
okay,
isn't the offices of the Inquisition on Terra?
I thought they were, but I don't know. I don't know for certain. But let's take, for example, your idea of a district, right? You take that district, and what if there are actions and activities being undertaken in there by the High Lords of Terror, by the Sisters of Silence, or something like that? Then your resources get stretched thinner trying to establish what these elements are doing within your district. So I can't imagine that they're having this beautifully synergized relationship, or this the capacity to lean on each other, and it's one happy family all singing around, sitting around singing inquisitorial kumbaya. I think they would watch and lord over their districts with the utmost protection and secrecy. So when you have an element enter into their district that's not normally there, they wouldn't exactly be sharing the information with other inquisitors, and vice versa. So it would make policing and governing that particular area quite difficult. Do you know what I mean? And again, they're not there as the police, even though we mentioned the Arbites and so forth. But the amount of data, the amount of information that would be pouring through to these inquisitors would be absolutely mind-boggling. It's almost, as I think about it, it's almost like it's too much to think, too much to understand where you should be looking. You
Mm.
know? Yeah, yeah, craziness,
Well,
absolute craziness.
so the Fortress of the Inquisition is the inquisitorial fortress located on Terra. It is the acting as the de facto headquarters of the Inquisition, and it is in fact a sprawling complex built beneath the south polar ice caps. The fortress, deep underground, is heavily warded and equipped with psychic dampening devices and null fields. Only members of the Inquisition and sparse numbers of doomed prisoners are permitted to enter the underground complex. The fortress is vast and sprawling, with transportation provided by maglev transportation. The fortress is overseen by a senior inquisitor known as the Castellan, which changes every year to ensure no single man or woman can establish a power base over the facility. That being said, half a century, and I'm assuming all 50, well, even less, all 40 members of the, you know, Ordo Terra, or the Ordo Custodium as they're actually known, you've
Yeah,
you've not got to wait long.
yeah,
Like, and I get it. There's not just going to be those 40 Inquisitors.
yeah,
There are
yeah,
going to be other Inquisitors there, and it's just these particular members of this minor
yeah.
Ordo. You will have all Ordos represented in some way, shape, or
Except
form
the
on
Astra.
Terra.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, except the Astra, they actually don't let them
yeah.
land.
They put their name in
So
the hat, and they're just like, stop doing it. Like, but we won't show you our maps. Yeah, righto. Okay, cool. See you later. You're not landing. We're going to shoot you out of the sky. Use your maps as defense.
yeah, if
Um,
tell you what, how are we going to find where you land if you're not bringing maps with you? Check and mate.
yeah,
But no, I get it, and there are obviously going to be on the planet outside of the Ordos. There
Mm,
are going to be Imperial Guard regiments. There are going to
mm,
be PDF. There are going to be the
yep.
Custodes.
Mm,
I understand there are going to be all these other fail safes,
yeah,
but I think it is irresponsible that a group like the Ordo Custodium, who have such an important job, like such an important job, that there's less than 50 of them.
yeah, yeah. I
It's
totally agree. But like, let's assume that it's just not updated information. I think, just like as we mentioned with the Ordo Astartes, I think perhaps it's just a way of saying we're protecting our actual numbers, we're protecting our operatives, because surely they would have more, and their retinue sizes and the amount of resources they would have available to them, I think would be incredible. And I imagine if one of these Inquisitors were to leave Terra on some special mission, they would be seen with a certain level of respect outside of Terra,
Mm.
because you are coming from the capital. You're at the beating heart of the Imperium. So I think if they were to bump into, say, a member of the Ordo Calexis, right?
Yep.
Who, our order is we take care of a planet. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. They would show deference to members of the Ordo Custodium, I believe, anyway.
Well, and it's obvious. I think they would probably work very closely with the custodes
Yep.
and the Arbites. I think they would have insane ties, especially with the Inquisition and the custodes, obviously being responsible for protecting Terra. Although
Well, I
the
mean,
custodes, yeah.
that would only depend if they actually had a dress code to follow. Like if they
I
were the
picture all the Ordo Custodium in gold with the huge pointy hats, and the
Oh
the
no,
custodes just looked out at them like, yeah, that's kind of that's cultural appropriation, guys.
I thought you were talking about the insane ties. Sorry, my apologies.
Insane Clown Posse. I like to think that the Insane Clown Posse are still around in the 41st millennium.
Yeah,
I like to think that at some point the Emperor has heard the music of the Insane Clown Posse and has just been like,
they're going to become
nice.
Eternals. They have to become Eternals.
And as a fan of the Insane Clown Posse, I'm making this canon.
Oh, I guarantee that when the Emperor is finally woken, it'll be to the sound of the Insane Clown Posse. That's where they'll see him just like drumming his fingers, like we have movement. Yes,
And
thank
he's just sort of
you,
like, I
venerated
can actually
clowns.
explain to you all how magnets work if you really need to know. But okay, we've gone so far off topic.
Yes, yeah. We are derailing at a rate of knots. I think maybe some of my pain medication has sent me a bit delirious in this episode. So uh, let us leave some of the other minor autoses for another episode if you're keen.
Yeah, done and done. So let's look at this, and I guess we'll make Weird and the Wonderful a multi-parter. So that is a lot. It's been fun.
Yes, has
Firstly,
been. Yes,
so
yes.
the question is, who has been your favourite auto so far?
If you have to be honest with yourself, it's a two-horse race, and it is between the grand and mighty Ordo Calexis and their very super cool bolt pistols, or obviously the most venerated of autos, the Ordo Astra.
Okay. Genuinely?
No, the Ordo Astartes.
Oh, thank God. I was going to say, because you loved the Ordo Astartes, didn't you? Just
Uh,
like, and the Ordo Calexis obviously have so much more to do with the, what I'm looking for, with the Dark
the role
Heresy
play.
novels and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
role play and that sort of thing.
yeah.
And I'm so excited you said earlier that there's a game coming out. I'm definitely going to have to look at that. But, yeah, the Ordo Astartes, I think, are probably the best so far. I also really like, I'm not going to lie, the Auto Cartographica, where they're just like, nope, nope, just put white out on their map. Why? Is there something evil there? Nope, I just know the guy that did this map and he's a dick.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they've got a favorite word, redacted. Redacted.
Just redacted.
Redacted. Yeah.
It's just a stamp. He's like, what are you redacting this time? Dude, I don't even know.
I think I'm redacting one of my redactions. I'm not too sure. I'm just
Yeah.
redacted.
I'm just blacking out whole sections of this, so if people want to try and figure it out, they're not going to know what's going on. I burned those pages. Like, I don't even know why.
I have no idea what's going on. I just think it's going to be funny. And, I'm probably not going to be around to see it, but it'll be funny for the historians. So
I'm
good
not
luck
even
to
an
you, Astra.
inquisitor. Someone just handed me this wallet and said I could do whatever I wanted.
Yeah. Get him. Yeah. Oh, that's gold. Yeah, right. I'm digging this minor Ordos episode and future ones that we're going to do, because it's getting us to explore things that are right on the fringe that probably don't get any love anywhere else. Give us your embarrassing, give us your lame, give us your useless, and we will talk about them.
We will talk about it for hours.
Yeah.
Well, as we do, we are going to close this episode off with a quote. And this actually comes from one of my favourite novels from the Black Library, based around Caiaphas Cain, the hero of the Imperium. Inquisitors, they're sneaky bastards. Useful? Yes. Even necessary. But I wouldn't buy a used air car from any of them. And that is Arbitrator General Bex van Sturm. Alright, scummers, now we have the final lists for exactly what order some of you are joining this evening. Now, first up, I'm about to give you the names of the few, the proud, the nerdy, the latest members of the Ordo Astra. And coming in first is Aaron Miller, huge nerd. Dash Barrett Terrain, nerd. Des Ryan, actually pretty nerd. Tabletop ready. Actually a very cool person. I'm not going to go ahead and insult you, nerd. Clive, Michael, Pete Gratrick, James Kelly, Mohawk Monkey, nerd. Stefan Zarlin, Sprue Whisperer, Josh Langworthy. You can tell he loves a map.
Yeah.
David Code, Nick O Time. Yeah, Nick O Time to get a new auto, mate. Jorn Giebner, Brent,
Nerd.
Cal Hansen, Drew D, Ben Hansen, JK Rowling,
Nerd.
Harry Potter nerd.
Harry Potter nerd.
Fee McPherson still bullies me on the internet. Not Richard, also not cool enough to join one of the real autos. Josh Manning, Owen Bebb, Stefan, that's the Steve from earlier. Heftats, Rick Lovey, Rick Lovey's the maps, nerd. Matthew Gennard, Owen Bebb, Nick O Time. I've literally just said Nick O Time twice. What a nerd. Sam Bridges, Stephen Livingston, Draknar, Rob Vanderpost, Fraugenstein, Dewey Sherwood, Peter McGlone, Elusive Badger, Simon Hansen, Kilgore, Matt Moore, nerd, CJ McClellan, Kenzie, Mike Wright, Fabio Vornheim. You sound far too attractive to be in the Ordo Astra. David Lindsay, Mike Bright, Spytreon, one of you bullied me earlier for being happy you were in the hospital. Dusty Cousins, dust off those maps, buddy. Will, DC Liska, Guka Minis, Yari, Ian of the Endless, Mapping, Painting,
I was about to
Pyman,
say maps, yeah.
Procrastinated Painting, Vermin, Tuka Kaikinen, Family Geek,
Nerd.
Dan S, Triple Whammy, Map, Dr. Fishy No, Dean Richards, Matthew Barron, Matt Cook, Josh Penfold, and Ashley Kaufman.
Right. So you have joined one of the most vaunted Ordos. For the next group, you have been selected to join the mighty Ordo Astartes. But for this particular induction, we are looking at the following chapters: Black Dragons, Blood Gorgons, Firehawks, Flame Falcons, Lamenters, Minotaurs, and Sons of Antaeus. Good luck
On
to
the
the
plus
following.
side, you don't have to do anything with the Lamenters. They die anyway.
Yeah. We have Ian Sinnott, Everett David Bradshaw, Charles Grant, Guillermo Castanera, Lord Bobbington, Daniel Smith, Perp, Dean Richards, Ivan Bragg, Matty Pooh.
Oh, sorry.
Morskull.
Matty has actually been given to the Black Templars. Sorry.
Rightly
buddy.
so, yes. Morskull, Alex Hart, Clayton Curry, Ted Mercer, Felipe Sampson, Wargamer in the Dark. Now, Wargamer in the Dark, you actually, your objective is the Legion of the Damned. Good luck, brother. From somewhere, Alistair Z, Alfonso the Traitor. Yours
Headed
is
to the Space Wolves.
yours is the Space Wolves, I was going to say. Simon Westlake, Chad Butman, Lloyd Goldsmith, Jonathan Blake, Jordan of Great Scott Hobbies. Hive Builder, you've actually got the Imperial Fists. Boo.
Boo.
Tom Davies, Matthew David, Joe Bates, Stuart Wicks, Martin Moser, Ed Strickland, Mike Stewart, Whispering Fog, James the Weak. You've got the Ultramarines. Well deserved. And Garen Sandstrom, Bo Stephenson, Nate M, Mikhail Livas, Kakuna_UK, otherwise known as Dan, and for making me do all that, you're gonna get the Flesh Tearers. Enjoy. Josh Reynolds, Brian Byers, Clown Grinder Cultist, you get the Custodes, Necro Macho, Samson Kennedy, Calligator, Josh Reynolds, Grant Train, Treasy, Sandro Noblich, Dakamatic, and finally, Life in the Ruins. You get the Brazen Claw.
Oh, good one. Oh, all right. And jumping in, our latest recruits from the Ordo Custodum. All right, no, there can only be 40 of you. Nicole, Justin Hawkins, Michael Stewart, Patrick Winter, Bellum Malleus, wrong list, Chief, Glenn Wilkinson Tuff, Roger Range, Silent Key, Daniel, Jason, Jimmy Marshall, we all know what you'll be doing, mate. Rob Hacker, Gardner Seekins, Josh Brandfus, Scott N. Lahaney, Axel 1313, Eamon, Bo, Aaron McKenzie, Boss Muppet, Tom Hoddle, Brad Gilliland, John Cochran, Sean Leary, Rob Knight, Joe Roberts, Craig Tuff, Jeremy, Kaylin Novak, James W. Vote for Pedro, Chris Vasiliades, Adeptus Aquinas, Damien B. Winterburn, Jeff Nelson, Christian Jansch, Netsurfer 733, Alex, John Baisley, and Brum. That's 40. The following people will just be executed. Sean, Dr. Toe, baddest dentist in the whole Underhive. Sorry, bud. You can start the Ordo, Tooth?
Ordo Toothus.
Bearded Dad Studio, The Lost Dog, Adam Kapczorowski, 3 Ogres in a Trench Coat, Paul Walsh, Jason Turner, and Gabriel Campbell. Except for anyone willing to join the Ordo Tooth, execution.
Execution. You did it wrong by not being in the top 40. That was your fault.
Yeah.
Right.
Should have joined later.
Yeah, exactly. So our remaining esteemed aspirants will be joining the Ordo Calexis. That's right.
Oh,
You're all being
fancy
put onto a
pistols.
ship, and sent to a planet. What you do there, nobody cares. 50 Shades of Null, Amelia Wig, Amelia Civ, Gildas Ford Radio, Cygnus Maximus, Damien Davis, Adam James Bruin, Adam Hicks, Danny Harrison, Chris Batty, Nick. All of those names will receive a bolt pistol. Poseidon's Kiss, Jim Bob, Luke Dyson, Trent Duncan Jones, Genghis, Harney Mauser. All of you shall receive bolt pistol ammunition. Michael Brown, William Payne, One Puncher Orlock, Tom, Joe, Hive Scum Wonka, Pylon, Tim Harrison, Hairy Bob Submariner. All of those names shall receive a single bolt pistol in which to fight over. Morbid Progeny, Hive Market Minis, Jason Sklenar, Alex 108th, Morja 477, Dave Grant, Alex Adams, Overlord Bleak, Kieran Sweet, Barks, Ryan Taylor, Tired Ape, Hotshot Rot, David Sodden, Ben Davidson, Jesse Barden, no bolt pistol for any of you, Simon Borowski, Josh Hunt, and finally William Young. You get the specialised experimental bolt gun
Execution.
version.
We're just shooting you.
We're shooting you with whichever bolt pistols are in circulation. They're going to be shot at you, Mr. Young.
It just seems mean.
It does, but funny, and that always trumps everything.
You are not wrong. I take it back. You are not wrong. And so, yeah, that's it. Nathan, thank you for joining me for the names. The rest of you... Oh, wait, no. We actually had a list of people who were joining real Ordos. I guess none of you. You've all accepted position now. Thank you very much for listening through. If you are still here...
Respect.
Go outside. Just go outside. Unless it's nighttime.
No,
Go outside.
don't be afraid.
Don't be
Go
afraid.
howl at the moon. Howl at the moon.
Scream at a stranger.
Yes.
Threaten to eat a baby.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Probably don't do the last bit. No. High five a stranger.
Eat a baby. Oh. High five a baby. Okay, no, this is nonsense. Goodbye, scummers.
Bye, scummers.
Thank you for the delay. Yeah, and yeah. I love you.
Not saying it. Bye.
Bye.